Reachy, you are the biggest disappointment of my career. Reachy is now capable of listening to speech and responding with emotions.
Artificial intelligence is frightening, and artificial empathy will be there to reassure us. When machines display emotion, they create a strong interaction with humans, even if the pleasure we derive from it and the interpretation we make of it stem from our own mind rather than the artificial system itself. It's very important that we can communicate with these robots as we would with a human being, like with voice, with eye contact and gestures. And users should be clearly able to see what a robot can do and what it cannot do also, so they can adjust their expectations. Some unpredictability is quite fun and exciting for robots, but too much is really frightening.
And honestly, we've wanted to plug an LLM into Reachy for ages, because large language models bring something incredible to robotics. They bring common sense. Do you know how many dumb states machines I've written over the years just to get the robot to display the tiniest hint of behavior? And now I can just talk to it in pretty much any language about pretty much anything, and it answers coherently. That, to me, still feels like science fiction. Look, Reachy, what do you think of Mufasa in The Lion King? Do you like Mufasa? It's a choice.
And why did you press this button?
Okay, so this is the microphone that's connected to Reachy, and it usually works fine even if I don't mute it, but when we do our speech, sometimes it will just catch up a command in it and it will answer to it. So to avoid interferences, I just mute it, but I could let it. We recorded emotions through teleoperations, so human making movements and recording the motions and the sounds. That's our emotion library. Then we use GPT-4 in real time. It listens to the speech and picks the right emotion to reply. Et voilà.
Actually, we started exploring a lot of material on this topic, including Serge Tisseron's work on artificial empathy and Donald Norman's ideas on emotional design. And we were also inspired by Disney characters, like, you know, the magic carpet in Aladdin. How did they manage to make something such as emotional as just a rectangle? It's just incredible. And we organized a Times Up game with the team to decode emotional gestures. Each person had 2 minutes to teleoperate Richie and make a guess a range of emotions like passion, love, shy, jealousy. And it allowed us to see what worked and what didn't, and we realized that sound was crucial in understanding emotions.
Yep. Sound was very important. Also, even though the robot is anthropomorphic, there are some big differences. For starters, the robot has antennas. What did you even do with antennas? It also can't move its shoulders or lean forward. So you might wonder, can you do this? And we'll see. Reachy, I don't care. It kind of works. Then there's the hands. We've got fingers and Richie's got a gripper. So let's say you want to respectfully flip off someone. Well, Richie will end up doing something like this, which looks more like a bad Italian impersonation rather than the intended insult. And yes, I had a very valid reason of doing that.
And when everything was clear enough, we teleoperated Reachy and recorded 80 plus emotions.
Yeah, more than 80.
We began to record in simulation to debug stuff and then booked the robot for the whole day, and we recorded in bulk using
A joypad.
yes, a joypad for the antennas and a microphone for audio. We also wanted to reproduce famous GIFs, like the Pulp Fiction one, when John Travolta is lost. And also the Pulp Fiction moves, like the dancing move. So Reachy, please, can you do the Pulp Fiction move, please? Thank you, Reachy. Can you also do the confused one, please?
When we talk to the robot, instead of recording the entire sentence and sending it, we send voice packets as they come. This method significantly reduces the delay between what you say and the moment Reachy reacts. Something interesting is that we asked the model not only to choose an emotion, but also to write down the thought process that led to that decision. That was very useful to understand what was going on. Then there was the weird pause between movements. Reachy would just freeze, and it broke the illusion. So we introduced what we call the breathing. It's a kind of idle motion that makes it feel alive, even in between actions. There's also the question of transitions. What do you do when you want to replay emotions that starts here, when your hands are here? Well, the simple answer is to do what we call a joint space interpolation, which looks like this, and then you start the motion. It works, but it looks very robotic. So we have an experimental interpolation where we start the motion right away and we try to catch up dynamically to the movement, but it's still work in progress. And of course, we've been slowly building Reachy's personality, which is just a prompt. For example, Reachy, do you like to be teleoperated? Are you sad when you lose control of your body? What do you think of Mathieu? We added stuff in the prompts, and of course it's nonsense, which you can just create something. You could change the personality of the robot. You could make it very soft and kind. You can make it a jokester. It's very easy to change.
And we realized that some movements worked well while others didn't at all, or could be misinterpreted. So we associated very specific comments with these movements, which we then added to Reachy's initial prompt. For example, the proud movement can be seen as a yes also. So can you, Reachy, play the proud movement, please? Okay, so we just added to the prompt that it could be a yes also. We got the integration into the stack to make playing emotions trivial. It's still in progress, but it's nearly finished now. We want to add face tracking. When Reachy is playing emotion, we want it to look straight in the eyes, but also face avoiding. Like, for instance, when it is shy, we want it to just avoid the look of other person. We want also to add emotions, but just for the head and the sound when Reachy is autonomous. For instance, when it grabs something or else, we want it to display emotions like he just succeeded, he didn't understood that well. We want to know everything that is happening with Reachy. The goal is always to create emotional attachment to Reachy, allowing a more human interaction and preventing fear caused by jerky or robotic movements, for instance. We want also to use the colors of the logo to express or to convey emotions, like yellow should be the joy, deep blue should be the sadness, and things like that. And also you can see that there's black lighting, so we want to adjust the opacity of logos black lighting to mimic breathing.
Reachy 2 Emotions is built on top of the SDK client and is super easy to run. Everything is open source. You can play with this in simulation even if you don't own Reachy. You can create new motions, new sounds, new prompts. You can contribute directly through issues on our GitHub repo, whether it's bug reports, improvements, or fresh ideas. For example, emotions aren't universal. Depending on your culture, the way you express or interpret an emotion might change. That's super interesting to explore. You can also create short scenes, like talk to Reachy, make it react, and even script some dialogues. And soon we'll release a Blender binding, so you can generate your own motions straight from animation tools.
If you like this whole range of emotions, you can also use them on Giphy or Tena, on your Discord or Slack. You can use all Reachy's GIFs, and you will be able to express like quite whatever you want with emotions. Et voilà!
Et voilà! Et on a vendu un canapé.
T'es bien allé dans la qualité.